Before Europeans arrived, the land that is now the United States was inhabited by diverse indigenous peoples for thousands of years. Some of the earliest known cultures include the Clovis culture around 13,000 BCE and the subsequent development of complex societies like the Mississippians around 800 CE. The Mississippian culture built large cities such as Cahokia, which thrived between 1050 and 1350 CE and was home to tens of thousands of people. These groups developed sophisticated societies with trade networks, agriculture, and governance. They respected the land and believed everything in nature had a spirit. In 1492, Christopher Columbus arrived in the Caribbean, leading to a wave of European exploration and colonization. By 1513, Juan Ponce de Leon had explored Florida, and in 1539, Hernando de Soto embarked on an expedition across the southeastern United States. These explorers brought with them diseases like smallpox and measles. By the early 1600s, these diseases had spread throughout Native American populations, killing an estimated 90% in some areas. In 1607, the English established Jamestown in Virginia, the first permanent European settlement in what is now the United States. As more settlers arrived, conflicts with Native Americans became common. One of the first major conflicts was the Anglo-Powhatan Wars from 1610 to 1646 in Virginia, where the Powhatan Confederacy fought to defend their land against English settlers. In 1620, the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock in present-day Massachusetts. The Wampanoag people helped them survive, leading to the first Thanksgiving in 1621. However, peace was short-lived, and conflicts like King Philip's War, 1675 to 1676, erupted as settlers continued to encroach on native lands. Throughout the 1700s and 1800s, European settlers and later the US government pushed Native Americans further west. The Indian Removal Act of 1830, signed by President Andrew Jackson, led to the forced relocation of thousands of Native Americans. Between 1830 and 1838, the Trail of Tears saw the forced relocation of the Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Creek, and Seminole tribes from their homelands in the southeast to Indian Territory in present-day Oklahoma. Thousands died from exposure, disease, and starvation during the journey. In the late 1800s, the US government implemented policies to assimilate Native Americans into European American society. The Dawes Act of 1887 broke up tribal lands into individual allotments, further eroding tribal sovereignty. Starting in the late 19th century, thousands of Native American children were sent to boarding schools like the Carlisle Indian Industrial School, founded in 1879. These schools aimed to erase native cultures and languages, forcing children to adopt European American customs. Native Americans resisted colonization through various means, including warfare. Major conflicts included the Pueblo Revolt of 1680, where Pueblo Indians temporarily drove Spanish colonizers out of New Mexico, and the Seminole Wars, 1817 to 1858, in Florida, where the Seminoles fought to remain in their homeland. One of the most famous battles was the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876, where the Lakota, Northern Cheyenne, and Arapaho defeated US forces led by General George Custer. However, despite these victories, most Native American resistance was eventually crushed. By the late 1800s, most Native Americans were confined to reservations, where they faced poverty, inadequate resources, and loss of cultural practices. The reservation system, formalized by treaties throughout the 19th century, aimed to isolate native populations and open up land for European American settlers. In 1890, the Wounded Knee Massacre marked a tragic end to the Indian Wars. US soldiers killed hundreds of Lakota men, women, and children, further symbolizing the violent suppression of native peoples. Despite the hardships, Native American resilience remained strong. The American Indian Movement, AIM, founded in 1968, advocated for native rights and sovereignty. The occupation of Alcatraz Island, 1969 to 1971, and the Wounded Knee incident of 1973 were key moments in this movement. Today, Native American communities continue to revitalize their languages, traditions, and cultural practices. They work to reclaim their rights, preserve their heritage, and educate future generations about their history. The impact of colonization is still felt today, with many Native American communities facing challenges like poverty, discrimination, and health disparities. However, their contributions to American society through art, knowledge, and culture remain invaluable. The story of America before and after colonization is one of resilience and survival. It is a story that reminds us of the importance of honoring and preserving the cultures that have been part of this land for thousands of years. Thank you.